In a world racing toward electric vehicles, one small petrol car is quietly shaking up the industry. While automakers pour billions into EVs, Japanese buyers are lining up for something very different: the Suzuki Spacia Gear. This boxy little machine doesn't just survive in an EV-dominated market, it thrives, outselling expectations, winning loyal fans, and even making some wonder if Japan is saying no thanks to the electric revolution. But how can a tiny petrol-powered car possibly compete with high-tech EVs? And why are so many drivers choosing it over the future of mobility? What's happening here might just change the way we think about cars altogether. For years, Japan has been under pressure to speed up its electric vehicle adoption. Big names like Toyota, Nissan, and Honda have been showcasing futuristic EV concepts, while governments push for greener policies. EVs are marketed as the only way forward: cleaner, smarter, inevitable. But when you look closer, a different story's playing out. Despite all the hype, Japanese streets are still filled with compact petrol cars, and one of the biggest standouts is the Suzuki Spacia Gear. Instead of being overshadowed by EVs, this quirky little minivan is outselling many electric options. Why? Because it gives drivers what EVs still struggle with: affordability, simplicity, and reliability. For many Japanese families, the Spacia Gear just makes sense. It doesn't need a charging station, it doesn't come with battery anxiety, and it delivers SUV-like features in a package small enough for crowded city streets. In other words, while EVs are chasing the future, the Spacia Gear is winning the present. And this is only the beginning, because once you see what's under the hood, things get even more interesting. At first glance, the Spacia Gear doesn't look like a powerhouse. It's small, compact, and almost toy-like in design. But hidden beneath that quirky exterior is Suzuki's secret weapon: a hyper-efficient 660cc petrol engine paired with mild hybrid technology. This combination delivers something EV makers can't match at the same price: unbeatable fuel economy. The Spacia Gear squeezes out nearly 25 kilometers per liter, making every drop of fuel stretch farther than most drivers expect. And while EV owners worry about range or hunt for charging stations, Spacia Gear drivers simply fill up in minutes and get back on the road. It's this balance of old-school reliability and modern efficiency that makes the car so appealing. It proves you don't need a giant battery or flashy marketing to win people over. Sometimes, the simplest solution works best. But Suzuki didn't stop there, because when you step inside, the Spacia Gear reveals another surprise that keeps it ahead of the curve. Step inside the Spacia Gear and you immediately realize this isn't just another budget compact. Suzuki has loaded it with features that rival much larger, more expensive vehicles. Wide digital displays, advanced driver assist technology, and clever storage solutions make it feel more like a modern SUV than a city car. The tall, boxy design isn't just for looks. It creates a surprisingly spacious cabin that comfortably fits families, complete with sliding rear doors for easy access in tight parking spots. Add in heated seats, adaptive cruise control, and safety systems like lane keep assist, and suddenly this mini car feels anything but basic. It's this balance of practicality and comfort that keeps buyers hooked. The Spacia Gear doesn't just move people. It makes every drive convenient, safe, and surprisingly fun. And just when you think you know what to expect, Suzuki rolled out updates that made the latest version even more tempting. In late 2023, Suzuki gave the Spacia Gear a bold refresh that reminded everyone why this little car refuses to fade away. The exterior received sharper lines, tougher SUV-inspired styling, and new color options that made it stand out even more on Japan's crowded roads. But the biggest changes happened inside. Suzuki upgraded the infotainment system with a larger touchscreen, improved connectivity, and smarter navigation features designed for city living. Safety tech also got a boost with new collision avoidance systems and better sensors, upgrades that put it on par with cars costing twice as much. What surprised many, though, was how Suzuki managed to keep all these improvements while maintaining the same lightweight, fuel-efficient design. Instead of chasing EV gimmicks, they doubled down on what buyers really wanted: a practical, stylish, and worry-free car that simply works. And those SUV-inspired upgrades weren't just for show. They tapped into a growing trend that Japanese buyers can't seem to get enough of. Across Japan, SUVs have exploded in popularity. Drivers love their bold looks, higher driving position, and sense of adventure. But in a country where tight streets and limited parking are daily realities, full-size SUVs just don't fit the lifestyle of most families. That's where the Spacia Gear found its sweet spot. Suzuki took the rugged look and practical spirit of SUVs and shrunk it down into a K-car package. With its tall stance, roof rails, protective cladding, and versatile interior, it gives buyers the SUV experience without the size, cost, or fuel consumption. It's a clever blend of style and practicality that's made it more than just a city car. It feels ready for road trips, family adventures, or even light outdoor activities, all while being small enough to zip through traffic and slip into parking spots that larger cars would never manage. It's a recipe that worked better than anyone expected. And while the SUV trend keeps growing, the Spacia Gear proves that smaller can sometimes be smarter. But here's the real twist. Despite all the EV hype, many Japanese buyers are still choosing this petrol-powered K-car. And the reasons behind that say a lot about the future of cars in Japan. On paper, EVs should be taking over Japan by now. They promise zero emissions, quiet rides, and futuristic tech. But the reality looks very different, and that's where the Spacia Gear shines. For one, Japan's EV charging infrastructure still isn't ready for the mass market. Outside major cities, finding a fast charger can be a challenge, and many apartment dwellers don't have access to home charging at all. That makes a simple petrol car far more practical for everyday life. Then there's the cost. Even the most affordable EVs often come with price tags that stretch family budgets, while the Spacia Gear stays accessible without sacrificing features. Add in the fact that K-cars enjoy lower taxes and insurance in Japan, and the financial equation becomes clear. The Spacia Gear simply makes more sense. Finally, there's trust. Japanese drivers know the reliability of petrol engines, and Suzuki has a decades-long reputation for building cars that just keep going. For many buyers, the uncertainty of battery life and long-term EV costs is enough to push them back towards something familiar. And here's the kicker. While the world is racing toward electrification, Japan's love for K-cars like the Spacia Gear might actually shape a very different path forward. Cars in Japan aren't just about getting from point A to point B. They're deeply tied to culture and daily life. And the Spacia Gear is a perfect match for that lifestyle. In crowded cities like Tokyo and Osaka, space is a luxury. Parking spots are tiny, streets are narrow, and efficiency is everything. The Spacia Gear's compact size makes it a stress-free choice for navigating the urban jungle, while its boxy shape maximizes interior space for families, groceries, and even weekend getaways. But there's more to it. K-cars like the Spacia Gear benefit from Japan's unique regulations that encourage small, efficient vehicles. Drivers enjoy lower ownership costs, tax breaks, and easier registration compared to larger cars. That means the Spacia Gear isn't just convenient, it's financially smart. Culturally, too, there's a sense of pride in driving something practical, efficient, and uniquely Japanese. While the rest of the world chases bigger, flashier cars, the Spacia Gear embodies the quiet brilliance of less is more. And this cultural fit explains why even as EVs gain momentum worldwide, Japan's roads remain dominated by K-cars. But the real question is, how long can petrol-powered heroes like the Spacia Gear hold their ground against the unstoppable wave of electrification? Now here's the real surprise. In a country like Japan, where technology is always ahead of the world and EV charging stations are everywhere, people are still lining up for a petrol car like the Suzuki Spacia Gear. Why? The answer lies in the Japanese way of thinking. The Japanese buyer doesn't just chase trends. They care about practicality, reliability, and value. And EVs, while exciting, still come with limitations. Long charging times, high battery costs, reduced performance in extreme weather, and the constant fear of what if the battery dies. On the other hand, Spacia Gear is simple. Fill up petrol, drive instantly, no stress. But there's more. In Japan's crowded cities, space is limited.
Big EV SUVs don't always make sense, but Spacia Gear, with its compact body, sliding doors, and smart interior, is the perfect fit. Add in its low running cost, easy maintenance, and trusted Suzuki reliability, and it becomes the ideal family car. And let's not forget, Japanese culture values silent performers. They prefer products that quietly deliver results without necessary show-off. That's exactly the reputation Spacia Gear has built. Reliable, affordable, and practical. No wonder its demand hasn't slowed down. In fact, it's growing year after year. When other companies are struggling to sell EVs with heavy discounts, Suzuki Spacia Gear is selling strong without even trying. That, right there, is its biggest victory.
While the whole auto industry was running headfirst into the EV race, from Tesla to Toyota, Suzuki quietly took a different path. They didn't ignore EVs completely, but they also didn't gamble everything on them. Instead, they asked a simple question: what do customers actually need right now? The answer was clear. EVs sounded futuristic, but infrastructure was weak, charging was slow, and costs were high. On the other hand, daily drivers wanted something practical, affordable, and reliable in every condition. That's when Suzuki doubled down on petrol plus mild hybrid technology. And from this vision, cars like the Spacia Gear were born. By giving a small petrol engine the brains of a hybrid, Suzuki delivered a car that was light on fuel, easy to maintain, and smart enough to feel modern. They made it compact for Japan's narrow streets, stylish enough to attract young buyers, and affordable enough for families. And here's the genius part. While competitors poured billions into EV development, struggling with declining sales and discontinued models, Suzuki focused on strengthening the present. They didn't chase hype, they built trust. Today, that strategy has paid off. The Spacia Gear isn't just a car. It's proof that sometimes the smartest move is not following the crowd, but making your own lane. Suzuki played its petrol dice at the perfect moment, and it's winning big in the market. So, what does the story of the Suzuki Spacia Gear really tell us? In a world obsessed with electric cars, futuristic batteries, and high-tech promises, one small petrol car quietly proved that practicality still wins. It showed that buyers don't just want hype, they want value, reliability, and the car that makes sense in their everyday life. The Spacia Gear isn't just surviving in the EV era, it's thriving. With its smart hybrid tech, boxy yet stylish design, family-friendly features, and a price that feels almost unreal, it's become more than just a car. It's a statement that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful. And maybe that's the real lesson here. While the auto giants battle over who will dominate the electric future, Suzuki reminded everyone that the present still matters. And right now, the present belongs to the Spacia Gear. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to stay ahead with more surprising stories from the world of cars, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because the next car we cover might just change how you see the future of driving.